Well, hello. Once again, another episode of A Legacy of Love. And like I mentioned previously, there is a young man called Adam Sietz, which we had an episode previously, but there was so much information that he has, and I'm happy to have him back. Thank you.
Hmm. Hi, how are you?
Just fine. How are you?
I'm great. Real good.
Great. Well, you
Good to
sure
be
have a
back.
lot. Excuse me?
Good to be back.
Yes, I'm glad that you're back and you have such a lot of information to share with us and another side of, what to overcome in this world, another topic that is very insightful, helpful. I even find it even educational because there's a lot of people that don't know about this. And back in our time, we were not really much aware, I would say. I'm more of a 70s baby. And back in the day, it was not much of something that we would talk about as often. And as you know, having that kind of background or story, you must have a lot to share in that perspective or topic.
Absolutely. Now we're picking up with ADHD. I think is where we were.
Yes,
We cut
yes.
off last time. Yeah, I again I don't really like that term, deficit and disorder and disability. For me, believing in those terms really kind of had me messed up for years. As I mentioned before, I gained a lot of weight. I was just depressed. I was unhappy. I was in a marriage that really wasn't working. And in general, I changed my entire life, and it all really came from incorporating improvisation into my life. And I also re-diagnosed myself with hyper awareness, is what I like to call it, instead of it's like a superpower in a way. Uh, there are times where it can get you. My wife will ask me for water, and I'll run in the kitchen to get her water and come back with a banana for myself. That's a typical example that happens. But in general, it also allows me to, uh, when I can harness this particular difference that some people might call a disability, to me, it's an ability to focus in a way that is so locked in. But if it's not something that interests me, or if it's a kid that has the same thing in school, it's going to be difficult to keep them, or to keep myself focused on something that it just doesn't taste right inside or doesn't feel right. So, I with improvisation, it really worked where there's nothing to think about. It's really just react, see, hear, and go. Like every conversation you have when you're speaking to someone, you don't know what's coming out of their mouth until you say something. Then they hear it, they react, and they come back. Sometimes emotions get involved and all this stuff. When it comes to improvisation, for me, it got me out of my head. And
Hmm.
the real success from improv came from that moment where I realized that the more I'm focused on what's happening right now, the happier I am in general. So, when it comes to people who have differences, nobody can see them. You can't see those differences. You can't see ADHD. Like if you were dyslexic, I wouldn't be able to say, I could see you're dyslexic. You can't tell. Nobody knows what goes on inside these differences. And all different people have all different stuff going on in there. So for me, empathy was really a big uh, part of it also. Even those people that you just go, oh my god, I'd like to. You think about it, and as an actor, I kind of bank all that kind of stuff on what is it that would make someone feel that way. What is it that would make someone do that? The book that I wrote was more on my story about achieving and overcoming these obstacles that were in my way, and being kind of resilient. Because as an actor, you kind of have to be because you spend most of the time 90% of the things that you're doing are going to be a no, and 10% are a yes, and that 10% is you're a working actor. That's where I'm at. Now, there are a lot of actors out there that don't even make that. And the industry itself is changing. So that's why I really kind of am really enjoying speaking now and sharing these stories with people. And as you can see, I like to talk, so speaking is a good thing.
Well, I think that that's wonderful. And I agree with you. I really believe that it's more of a difference of learning, and we're all that way. And as you said, no one knows people when they have dyslexia or they have ADHD. You know, when you're around them, when you live with them, when you spend time with them, that's when you start understanding a little bit more about, the way they learn. But that's how I see it, as a difference in learning and the way they approach life. But I believe that each and one, you and other, like you mentioned, people that have dyslexia are very, very bright people. And I respect everyone. And I believe that I go back to the same, we're all created differently for a purpose. And I think that people with ADHD, well, as long as they, like you, try to find the way to overcome this, that's when you're gonna, be your best, your very best version. And if not, then you have to try to find the way. And your story is very powerful. It really, when I heard your story, I was like, wow. And I definitely understand where it comes with people is with dyslexia, because I have a son that has that and another one that has ADHD. And it doesn't really matter which one is mine and which one is blended, but what really matters is to find the way to have that empathy. And when you said that word, it really touched, because if we were more of caring for one another instead of just labeling, or then I think this world would be different.
Well, you
And
know what? I'll tell you something. How about to ourselves?
well, yes,
It's more
exactly.
the empathy for yourself. Like, give yourself a break, let yourself off the hook. I
Yes.
mean, yeah, I was not happy. 424 pounds. I'm not happy, but I'm the one that kind of put me there. You know what I'm saying? As I'm talking, my son, can you turn that off, please? Thank you very much. My son just walked in the door with his music blasting. Uh, I'm actually in my kitchen right now. You can't tell
Okay.
how beautiful
I could
happening
see, I could see.
artwork.
No, that's great. Well, what would you say of someone that's right now battling with something like this, or even like you said, dyslexia, or who knows? There's so many other things that we face: autism, dyslexia,
Just mental
ADHD,
illness again,
or
just
who knows what other?
mental stability. How's
Yes,
that? I mean, we all have these moments, whether we're, whether there's a strong mental illness, or you're just an average regular person out there that has something going on, that their emotional state, their feeling, everything is like real depressed. And the biggest thing, as I say, for others who are in this, love yourself. It's the most important part, because if you hate yourself, it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to continue to do the same old caca that's getting you where you are if you're in a place that's not in a happy place. And really, that was it. The accountability of everything that I do. Nobody else can really be accountable for me. They have accountability coaches. Hey, I'm all for it. If you got it, mine. I don't know if I mentioned it. Mine is Larry. Did I share Larry with you?
you did.
I did. Larry, it's very helpful. And by having my lists, alarms, my reminders, and repeating them over and over again, it does make a very big difference. I get things done, the things that I want to get. Another thing, somebody with ADHD, for me, I would always say I'll do it in a minute, and that if I say I'll do it in a minute, it just won't get done, because not intentionally. And this is what upsets our mates and the people who love us and live with us, until they understand that that's something that it's never going to change. It's not an intentional slight or anything. So what I've learned to help that is, no, do it now. Really, it's so simple. Parents, as my parents have always said to me, Adam, can you, yeah, I'll do it in a minute. I'll do it in a minute. And my kids do that to me. And I really understand how that really could tick the other person off, let alone it doesn't get done. So that's a real focus. But again, the most important is accept who you are and forget about yesterday and tomorrow. Start with now, and just whatever's going on in there, if it's not something that's in a pleasant space, or put it aside, get it out of your space right now, because you don't need to deal with it. If it's not now, right now, I don't have to think about the bills that might have to be paid on Tuesday, or my daughter and that boyfriend. I can't, all these different things that bring you down. Change the thought. You have the power. It's not, your thoughts don't control you, you control them. So
So be happy. try to find
Yeah,
a place where you're happy with what you're doing, with what you're accomplishing, with your life, with your persona, and then everything will fall into place. That's what I'm taking today of what you're
that's really
saying.
it. Yeah. It's live your life. And unscripted success is really my story because until I finally realized what improvisation, because I was always a funny guy, but that element being added into this changed everything. And sometimes the thing is and there's a story about how this was placed in my path
Huh.
10 years, a full decade
Hmm.
before actually more like 12 years, a dozen. And it might have been 13, a baker's dozen, until I actually acted on this purpose that I was supposed to do. That was back in high school. So we put improv in my face and I walked away from it, never touched it, never did it, just moved on. And then that name, Chicago City Limits, I had it for years. And boom, I ended up going there 13, 14 years later because I started in Florida. But it
Huh.
all worked out. It all worked out.
Well, I'm really happy. I mean, I'm like happy to hear your story. And I really am hoping that a lot of other people find that place. And what would you say? What would be your last message? Because I know I don't have ADHD, but
Mhm.
I definitely know what it is to have loved ones that have that. And it's a different experience. And I definitely respect that. And as you said, having empathy for one another, but most of all, learning to accept yourself and love yourself and find the way to find the way to find the purpose in your life. I think that that is the key.
It
Um,
really is. Yeah.
yeah.
To find your why. What is it? What are you? Why are you here? What is your purpose? You don't have to do that so quickly. It took me like almost 50 years to figure out exactly what it is. I was doing it, but I really didn't know what particularly. And putting smiles on faces and helping others to do the same. That's my why. That's my purpose. That's why I'm here. And I do it in a number of different ways. But my parting words, if I was to give parting words, please live now, don't live tomorrow or yesterday because that's fantasy land. It's not going to keep you happy. The happy place is where we all want. That's what we're all looking for. Money, why? Money makes me happy, right? Well, sex, it makes me happy. Food makes me happy. Substances for some people makes me happy. But what it is, all of those things are to get happy because that's what we all want. We just want to be happy, and it's here. It's now. Happy isn't you can't schedule it, as I said. Just be here, let go, just be who you are and experience what comes your way. You'd be surprised. And when you're focused on what's actually in front of you, how many of those offers and opportunities you've been missing for so long because you're too caught up in here. And the bottom line is also a very important part is humor is funny. Incorporate the humor and a smile and laughter wherever you can. And as I said, I have a giveaway that I'd be more than happy for anyone to go to adamsietz.com/summit giveaway. And that's my other book called The Funny is a Factor. And it helps you incorporate funny formulas and methods and things that, what is funny? Why am I funny? How is that? Well, we kind of looked into it a little bit and explained it a little bit. So that is my gift to anyone who'd like it. You come
Well,
visit me
I
anytime.
can't wait to look into it myself and discover a little bit more about that side of being extra funny. I think I'm more in the center. I tend
Mm,
to laugh and all that, but not overly and not, overboard. Maybe I need to learn to do more of that myself. But
yeah.
anyway, I don't know what you would like to just leave us with the last message. I definitely do have a message for you that I've learned a lot with you with these two episodes. I'm very
Mhm.
grateful and honored to have you be part of these two. And I wish you the very best. I definitely do. And I know that there's amazing opportunities out there for you and for
Mm.
everyone that has these learning differences. That's how I see it. Learning differences, not it's
That's what
just
they call a
the same.
learning disability. That's what they call it. It's a
Yes,
learning,
I know what it's
not
called. Yes.
but still, whatever uh, whatever differences each of us have something that's different. Each of us have something going on. That's where the empathy, if you could truly step back from
Yeah.
the people that make you nuts, even your relatives. It might even be people you're related to. If you accept them for who they are and let go of all the extra stuff that you know they're going to do this stuff, this is going to happen. And once you know it's going to happen, you could be expecting, you could be ready. It won't be a surprise. And then you can actually experience more fun with that person. Even if someone that you don't really want to have to spend time with, but you have to because they're part of part of your life. And that happens. I'm fortunate. I'm able to get along with most anyone. But it's a good, helpful hint. Just to think about it from their point of view. What makes them act this way? What makes them say things like that? What is that about? And then you can understand it's not you. It has really nothing to do with you. Whatever the stuff is, it's leave it with them, and just get out of your head. Let go, and just be. Just be. That's it.
Well, I definitely love that message that you're giving, and that's right. I mean, people are what they are, and we're not here to change people. And
No,
no, I mean, no, that's
be
not a
yourself. Be the best you could be. And if you want to be better tomorrow, be a little better. Just this much better every
yeah.
day.
Yes, every day un poquito, just a little bit. So I
Just a
agree.
little.
Very good.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you.
for me, it was an honor, really a privilege to have you here at my podcast, A Legacy of Love. And I wish you all the very best. And I know
Yeah.
that later I will hear about all the wonderful things that you've continuously gone and pursued. And I wish you the very best. And thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you so much. My pleasure, Analee. Good
Thank
luck. You
you.
too. Also, great podcast. Be well.
Oh, thank you.